Grenada's economy is heading for its 7th year of consistent growth, averaging over 5%. Unemployment was reduced by 20%, while debt to GDP ratio was reduced from 108% to 63.5%. NNP committed to the economic and social development of our people. NNP delivering on the promise.
Through our struggles, we have been through so much pain. We have been through disasters, both natural and man-made. We have been through the era of the rebel. We have tasted the might of Ivan and more. We went through a struggling economy, but with sacrifice, we rise up tremendously. So tell them we proud of we country. Tell them we proud of we land. Tell them we proud of we people. Proud Grenadian. Just tell them we proud of we country. Tell them we proud of we land. Tell them we proud of we people. Proud Grenadian. Grenada we love. Your people loves you. We are patriots at home, doing what we can for the growth of this country. We employ every hand, but there are patriots in another land, and for Grenada they'll do whatever they can. Cause when our country back was against the wall, Hurricane Ivan, they answer the call. All because we proud of we country, because we proud of we land, because we proud of we people. Proud Grenadians. Just tell them we proud of we country. Tell them we proud of we.
Good morning, Grenada, Carriacou, and Pity Martinique. Once again, it is time for Hard Talk. My name is Sheldon Scott.
I'm Devon Romain.
And this is Hard Talk. We're live on 97.5 CitysoundFM,
89.5 CRFM,
92.9 on the Sister Isles of Carriacou, Sister Isle FM,
and 94.9 WeiVybz Radio out there in Brooklyn, New York. Good morning, New York.
Yes, indeed. And we also say a special good morning to all of you joining us online this morning. Hope that you're having a wonderful day today. I'm seeing Kathleen and Teresa, Louisa, all of you joining us on the live this morning. Have a wonderful, wonderful day today. The staff out there at Paddy's Enterprises in Carriacou. Yeah. The only place that I see a weed that could cut down a log. Yeah. Paddy's are some weed eater.
Carl, good morning.
They say weed eater or weed whacker?
Weed eater, you know.
Weed eater, weed whacker, wherever it is, there are some inside it cutting down a whole tree, you know.
I hear that.
Could cut down a lamp pole. Yeah, they're bad like that.
And they selling it in Carriacou. They want vegetation growing in Carriacou. Right?
Man, I don't understand that, boy. What you're taking water weed eater and you could cut a path in the water between Grenada and Carriacou. You could take the weed eater and you put the head in the back and use it as an engine for a boat and head across. Anyway. Paddy's Enterprises, good morning. We hope you're having a fabulous day out there. And then in Brooklyn, we're live, man.
Yeah, we're live in 94.9 WeiVybz. Yeah, so it's real noise.
Yeah, a lot of noise.
Good morning. And good morning to your what you call your passengers.
Yeah, it's a beautiful, beautiful, beautiful Wednesday on the Isle of Spice. I'm seeing a lot of returning nationals coming back into the island. Yes, some seriously packed flights. And quickly, we're seeing all available apartments and rental vehicles and so on heading out. And so, and a lot of the restaurants and the fast food places where usually you go anywhere from 11 until 2 and you're finding food. When you go now, nothing available.
Line long, so
yeah, nothing available. You know, they're eating out them thing fast. Yeah,
rentals,
a lot of people out.
Rentals gone through. I mean, the airport, the hotels are telling you that look, there is no room.
Yeah, no room at the inn.
No room at the inn. Persons are resorting to renting a room for other persons. You know,
some tent door you can fix up.
Yeah, we work it out. Just come.
Yeah, some tent man we go fix up. Yeah, just come. Don't use that as an excuse and say I don't come in because I don't have a place to stay. You know, come.
That's Grenada. We finding place for you.
Yeah, man. We go organize. You understand? Yeah. We go organize. So you come through. Yeah. Nice, beautiful, and indeed, the Pan American team, they're out there, still representing. Yeah. And we have some competitions coming up. I'm not too sure. I know the tennis came up. Our youngster in the tennis, let me get her name. I'm sure I shared that. So the youngster in the tennis. And before I go there, let me just say congratulations to our team that's coming back from El Salvador. Yeah. You have Tariq McSween, Elijah Williams, and Alia Gidari. Right? All three of them medaled, and that was at the NACAC Under-13, Under-15 Championships in El Salvador. So we had some young Grenadian athletes, and we had to big them up.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, we only want to wait until they reach on the Olympic stage to big them up. Big them up now.
Start now.
So Tariq McSween, Elijah Williams, and Alia Gidari, they were able to medal. I'm going to get some more information exactly what area they medal at. And Akila James, she was the first Grenadian up at the Pan American Games in tennis. She lost her first match, but we're looking forward to her second one.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so she lost her first match.
You know we don't give
but
up.
She tried her best.
Yeah.
Yeah, because she lost it 7-5, 7-5. So she tried. Yeah. Right, so we're looking forward to her next performance. We're also looking forward to seeing our athletes out there in the 400 meter Braylon. Yeah, Braylon will be participating next week, Wednesday. And once he qualifies to the finals, Wednesday and Thursday. So Braylon should be in action next week, Wednesday. Keep that in mind. Yeah, no, you're keeping pre-day in mind next week, Wednesday, and next week, Thursday, Queen Show. Yeah. But also keep in mind that Braylon will be in action next week, Wednesday. Yeah. All right, so he'll be in action Wednesday. We'll give you the exact time.
What about the brothers?
Yeah. I haven't got their schedule yet. So let me give you the schedules I do have. Next week, Saturday, not this Saturday, but next week, Saturday, we're going to have Anderson Peters and Markham Felix in the javelin. So that's going to be taking place Saturday, the 10th of August. Anderson Peters and Markham Felix, they'll be in the javelin. And next week, Thursday and Friday, we have Kanika Beckles. She'll be participating in the 200 meter. Yeah, that's next week, Thursday and Friday. I have to get, I believe she's in the 400 meter female as well. But there's a problem with the Pan American website. So it kind of showing you female for male and male for female. It's mixing up some stuff. So we won't get all of that and give you. And then, of course, the decathlon. We have to get that one. Let me see if I can find the decathlon. It's...
Morning Depot. I don't know what you do now. Ask the Lord what you do.
Yeah, I'm trying to see if I get the decathlon. So the decathlon starts next week Tuesday. Yeah, so it starts next week Tuesday and runs down until Wednesday. So the final event in the decathlon will be Wednesday. So there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 events on Tuesday, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 events on Wednesday. So they're starting off on Tuesday. That's the brothers. Yeah, Lyndon and Kurt. Yeah. So they're starting off with the 100 meter, right? No, I'm mixing it up. Yeah, it's not 9 events. It's the heats. Yeah. So you have the men's 100 meter on Thursday. You have on Tuesday next week. On Tuesday next week, you have the men's long jump, you have the men's shot put, the men's high jump, the men's 400 meter, and then on Wednesday you have the men's 110 meter hurdles, the men's discus throw, the men's pole vault, and the men's javelin, and finishing off with the 1500 meter.
You know, Sheldon, that event in particular, it's an event that needs a lot of concentration and dedication. You know? And if you don't have that discipline, better you stay out, because look at the amount of events, you know, that is part of that, you know.
Yeah, so 5 events. I was saying 9, but 5 events on Tuesday, and then you have the other 5 on Wednesday. All right, yeah. So that's going to be a wonderful one, man.
Oh, yeah. And we're looking out for good things from our athletes. You know, young, upcoming, they have the energy, and you have Grenada behind you. Know that.
So the Pan American Games, they are on, and Team Grenada is in contention. Yeah, I expect a medal or 2 to be coming back our way.
Yes.
Yeah, I
Most
fully
definitely.
expect a medal or 2. And remember, we have the World Championships coming down later in October. The World Championships, International Athletic Association World Championships will be coming up. So we look forward to that too, and seeing Team Grenada going out there and doing our utmost best. All right. And as well, tomorrow, Emancipation. Yeah, Emancipation, the official Emancipation Day.
It is the official.
Even though we have the
Emancipation
Emancipation weekend. But the official Emancipation Day. And I didn't say Sidhu send anything with the Queen Show and so.
No, they didn't, you know.
We want to get at. But we had Miss Shirma Wells in studio with us. And she was telling us about the Emancipation Day celebrations tomorrow. So that will be taking place. They're going to be starting over the Melville Street Barracks. As many of you know, that's one of the areas they kept the slaves straight from the ship down into the hole. All right. And then they would take them from there and they march them across to the market square to be sold. Yeah. And drive them like cattle.
Yeah, and grease them up, shine them.
Yeah.
Make sure, perhaps that's one of the times that they get a bath after weeks or days or months, you know. They get a bath, they'll grease them down, shine them up, and bring them to the market to sell them. I mean, look at the kind of what we had to go through.
So it will be starting at the Melville Street Barracks. It's starting time 11 a.m. tomorrow. So by now, people will be gathered tomorrow. So 11 a.m. tomorrow. And this is being guided by the Grenada Cultural Foundation. So from 11 a.m. tomorrow, there'll be the wreath-laying ceremony at the Melville Street Barracks. And then the Freedom March onto the Market Square. So there'll be the Freedom March onto the Market Square, the blessings, the reading of the proclamation, and different activities. So they're going to have some drumming and that sort of thing. And people are asked to wear your African wear. Yeah, wear your African wear. And head on out to the Melville Street Barracks tomorrow. Yeah, from 11 a.m.
Be a part of this important cultural event.
Devon, what is the fogging schedule? Because I'm trying to get some information on the fogging schedule, because I've been looking at some of the world news and been seeing another virus up there in Florida. In Florida, that one affects the brain. When the mosquito bites you, it's affecting your brain. Yes, swelling on the brain and that kind of thing. And then they have dengue deaths, a lot of dengue deaths in the Philippines and in the Asian countries and so on. A lot of deaths by dengue. And hearing a lot of people complaining about mosquitoes. The fogging can only do so much, but we have to keep our surroundings clean. But let's hear what the fogging schedule is.
Okay, the fogging schedule for today, Wednesday, the 31st of July, the final day of July, the tongue of St. George, right? The entire tongue of St. George, right? The Ministry of Health team will be there fogging the entire tongue of St. George from 5 p.m. So everyone, businesses, homeowners, everything, pay attention to the time, right, that the Ministry of Health persons and anybody who have concerns, business people or so, please, right, get in touch with the Ministry of Health through the numbers 440-2095 and 440-3485. Very important. And a reminder for homeowners, even the business places too, leave your place open, allow the fog to get through, right, so it can do its work effectively. Right, do what is necessary. On Thursday, the 1st of August, Queen's Park and the surroundings. So you have Queen's Park, perhaps part of the Dabo area, and so. And so will be fog tomorrow, Thursday, okay, the 1st of August. Queen's Park and its surroundings from 5 p.m. So today, Wednesday, the Tongue of St. George, the Ministry of the Health fogging team will be there 5 p.m. And tomorrow, 1st of August, Queen's Park, right, and the surrounding areas.
All right, so that's the fogging schedule. And folks, you need to ensure that you keep your surroundings clean. Yeah, you have to clean up your surroundings.
You have to.
Now, the mosquitoes, they don't just fly in from any and anywhere. There has to be receptacles holding water in your surroundings that are causing the mosquitoes to be there and be there in the numbers that they are.
Yeah.
One of the main culprits usually are the, they call it not cisterns, but the tank for your sewer system.
Yeah, the sewer system. Ooh,
right?
That's a major culprit.
That's usually one of the major ones that you get the mosquitoes coming from. So you need to ensure that you check them to see if it's sealed properly, because the mosquitoes, once they can get in there, number one, it's dark, and number two, there's water inside there, right? So that they will go in there and they will multiply. So you need to ensure that you check your septic tanks and see that they are properly sealed. Note, if only a coquille flex could pass, there's a crack, a space that even just a coquille flex, because some people, how they do it, they put a slab on top and they don't seal it. Yeah. So once you haven't sealed it, you leave the opportunity for the mosquitoes to pass there, get down inside, and reproduce, right? So that's one. The second one is the spouting on your homes. If you don't clear the spouting, because leaves fall in it, other things fall in it, and so on from time to time, even sometimes you find big stone up there and you wonder, oh, stone on top there and all kind of thing. But different things fall. They block the spouting. When the spouting is blocked up and the water can settle there, in just a couple days, they will be making mosquitoes. And with the mosquitoes coming from on top there and floating right down into your house. So you need to ensure that you deal with your spouting. Also, from construction, you may have bamboos and you may have other things around your home. You need to ensure that you move all those things from around your home and so on. You may have bamboos, there may be garbage, different things around your home. You need to move them. I think we have a call online.
Good morning and welcome.
Good morning.
Good morning. You need to load the radio in the background, please, caller. Hello? Caller?
Hello?
Hello.
You need to load the radio in the background, please.
Okay, right.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Go right ahead.
Right. Yeah, I do. Brother Sheldon and Brother Scott, good morning.
Morning.
Good morning.
Yes, I'm listening from New York.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, welcome.
Yes, but what happening, like, I'm watching it live on the internet, and again, again, a double sound. Like, when you speak, you still hear a feedback in the background.
You may
so I know if you could help.
In that case, you may have it opened twice on your computer. So you have to, sometimes when that happens is because on your computer you open it and then you open it a second time. So you get an echo like, so just see if you don't have it open twice on the computer, and that should take care of it. All right?
Okay.
No problem, my brother.
All right.
Okay, and you enjoy your day.
Good morning to you all, man. Good morning.
Good to hear you.
Especially Mr. Devon.
Yes, boss. Good morning to you.
Yeah.
All right, one love.
Have a blessed one.
Yeah.
Yes, indeed. So we're saying for the mosquitoes around your place, you need to ensure all the garbage. Mosquitoes can reproduce in a crown cork. A crown cork, the crown cork, and the mosquitoes would reproduce in that. Once water can settle in it, they can reproduce in it. Plastic bags in the bush, close to your home. Yeah? So it may not be you directly that do that. It may not be, but if it's there, it will be a source of mosquitoes. Once the rain falls, water settles in that, and the mosquitoes can reproduce in there.
Yeah, very much so.
Right? So there are several things that you need to look for. Anything that carries water, your plant pots, the base of it, that when you water the plants, the extra water stays there. That can do it. The vase that you may have in the house with the cut flowers and so on, that can be it. Some people with the older fridges and so, you have that little tray that stays under the fridge with water. And you keep wondering, but all you do is set a mosquito in the house. And it's that tray in the older fridges. There's that tray that deals with the condensation and takes a certain amount of water under the fridge. That. If you've got a leaky faucet, in other words, your pipes are so leaky, and some people, they have a little container for the drip water that they empty every now and again. The mosquitoes can reproduce inside there. Especially it's in a dark cupboard and that sort of area, the mosquitoes like that. So you've got to look for any area around your home that water settles or can settle and deal with it, because you can end up with a lot of mosquitoes in the house and be wondering why.
Another thing that persons should pay attention to, when the workers at the Ministry of Health do their usual walk around, and they usually does that before fogging, there are some tips that they always depart to homeowners. For example, they will tell you what you have that you're not supposed, to have around you. Get rid of it. The containers that may hold in water and you need to empty it out, they will, educate you, give you much more information as to what you can do. They also give you some treatments, the water tablets to help you, keep down the breeding of the mosquitoes. So even when the workers pass through, they continue to educate the public as to the do's and don'ts of preventing mosquito infestation. And we must pay particular attention to this information. Sometimes they leave pamphlets and so. And please, pay heed to them. Don't feel because you have a big container and they tell you get rid of it, you give them attitude and so. It's for your own good. And it's for your neighbor's own good. So be mindful of that, please.
Yeah. And Devon, I think we need to remind persons of what is taking place on Saturday. Yeah, we had to remind people what's taking place Saturday.
Big thing.
Carnival Saturday, August 3rd. It's NNP's All Day Fat. From 12 noon, we kick it off.
NNP's All Day Fat.
Enjoy great music, top DJs, top artists, and of course the food in the All Day Fat. Enjoy our national dish.
All down.
Barbecue.
Pilau, crab and dumpling.
Curry mutton, waters, pea soup, Creole fish, cuckoo and callaloo, chicken, fish, fries, and many more. A solid bar. Other attractions includes card games, dominoes, and of course some of your top and favorite artists. Carnival Saturday, August 3rd. NNP's All Day Fat at the Party Office, Big Yard, Mount Helicon, and St. George's. See you there.
The strength of the iron, it's in the testing. Bring them up. It's not a loss, it's just a lesson. Be grateful for your blessings. You've been digging deep to find that in our strength. No, it's not the time to give up. No, nah. I'm telling you nothing that will never defeat me. We control your destiny. I'm telling you, take your hand and point it up in the ceiling for me. I feel so irate. Wake up and I'm ready. Must make it ever steady. Setting goals is necessary while they hide. Precious time they wasting like a disease. It starts spreading. Now it shift their eyesight. I say, I don't know why. Some will worry about the next man's drive.
Yes, indeed.
Fix your life. And
The 2018 Groovy Monarch.
something must be wrong, your man. I don't
Competition rough next week, boy.
This competition.
Uh-huh.
When you look at it from the carnival, the Calypso competition, you have some serious competition going on there. Couple of monarchs, right? Former monarchs coming up against the reigning monarch. Right? You have a father and son duel. Then you look at the soca monarch. I mean, so many good songs.
The other thing is, I realize there's this sort of back and forth taking place between different areas.
That's
And the thing is this, when it's time for politics, we have back and forth.
Yep.
It's time for carnival, we have we back and
Definitely
forth.
back and forth.
As long as you don't take it too personal.
Yes.
Yeah, as long as you don't take it too personal. Nobody can tell you don't support your artists.
Come on, you can.
Support your artists if you find your artist going and win. What's wrong with saying that your artist going and win? And that you don't like the other artist or you don't like the tune, nothing is wrong. That's your constitutional right. You could say that.
And I was listening to his Biko, right? And he was saying that, look, myself and all the artists are cool. We have our thing in songs and so, but we good. So don't, I mean...
Biko?
Is Biko...
Biko hasn't been around for a long time.
Not Biko, oh my
Boise.
God. Boise.
Mm.
Yeah, and Boise was letting, I mean, persons know, including the supporters, that look, don't get involved personally with the artists and so. They're good. They're all good, but it's, you know...
Boise and Westways line?
Of course. They perform together. So let's not get too worked up about the competition. Yes, we expect that. We expect you to come out and support the St. David's, the St. Andrews, the St. Patrick's, you know, guys and so, but hey,
so
let's do it clean.
So I'm going to go in the Soca Monarch and not jump up for anybody, but one artist are going to pay to go in Soca Monarch and jump up for one.
Never happen.
I jumping up for all.
All.
Who perform the best, may they win. Yeah? Who has the best performance on the night, because Soca Monarch, Calypso Monarch, Groovy Monarch is not judged by what you hear on the radio.
Nope, the night.
It is judged on the night, because you have some, for instance, wonderful calypsos that ain't make it through to the Mardi Gras.
Yeah.
Wonderful calypsos, they make it through to the Mardi Gras. But at the end of the day, it's all based on how the individual or group, duet, or whatever you call it, duo, performs on the night. That's how you win or lose.
Not the
and you
crowd
can't just
support
say
and-
you win because you're from area A, or you win because you're from area B.
Or bring out the most people. And, you know,
That doesn't
come.
mean you go win. Nah?
The judge's decision is final.
I remember one year, I think this is the year Talpi was defending. He was on stage and he came and he was defending and he bust. He bust on the stage. Talpi bust. Yeah. He had a good chance of defending the crown successfully, you know. And he came out with all the dancers and all the thing and thing on stage, and everything was going good, and then he bust.
How many years after he stayed in competition?
No, I don't think he stayed in competition after that.
Okay.
I think that was the end of he in competition.
But you know what?
He did go back to competition, I think, in Trinidad after that, though.
Yeah. It would be very nice to see a number of our soca and calypso artists returning into competition, frontline competition. Would be a nice thing. You know,
let me ask you a question, Devon. You really think Hollis Map going to come and take part in competition locally for, let me say, Ronnie J come and beat him this year?
Hey, the best man win on the night.
No, boss, but you know what I is? Use the International Soca Monarch.
There is nothing different.
The International Soca Monarch. Yeah, that mean out of all the countries that does listen and play soca and have competition, you, Hollis Map, out of Groveton, St. John, are the number one in the world, on the planet, in the universe, because we ain't think it have soca in any other planet. So number one, you're it. And you will come now and let a fellow who first year in competition beat you. That ain't easy to face. You know? So rather than go through that, I don't think you'll be seeing them in competition anytime soon. Probably if the financial implications balance out, you might. You know, but it's not easy.
It's not easy, but hey, they started some way, so they could lose it some way.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but one of the things too, and we must be proud of as a people, right? Our level of calypso, soca, groovy artists have dramatically improved. Lyrical content, in my view.
Mm-hmm.
You know, this year I've seen it, you know. And kudos to all the artists who have dedicated themselves, you know, to doing good, to doing better than the year before. All right? That is the only way that we can move forward. When we learn from our mistakes from the past and we move forward into the future and so on. We have a bright future when it comes to Spice Mass. You know?
Yes, indeed. And Devon, I think we're going to open the phone lines 440-7377
and 347-329-3101.
Yeah, so folks, remember the Emancipation Day March that's taking place tomorrow, starting at 11. So starting at 11, you could wear your African clothing. And that's going to be starting over at the Melville Street Barracks. And they're going to have the Freedom March onto the Market Square with drumming and so on. They're going to have that procession. Then they have the blessings, the reading of the proclamation, and singing and so on. So that's going to be taking place tomorrow from 11 onto the market square because, as we said, they brought the slaves on the ships, put them in those different basements along Melville Street that some of us know and some of us don't know, but nearly all those buildings there, they have basements in them. They put them down in there, and then when the time came, they take them out from there, they grease them down, and they march them over to the market square. So all you understand how jab come around.
Yeah.
With the greasing of the skin and the chain on the foot and thing.
Chain and foot.
Yeah, we didn't forget.
Didn't forget.
Yeah, we will never forget.
We are reminding them every year. We are reminding them what we go through.
Mm-hmm.
All right, very
And
significant.
then Saturday, it's going to be at the Mount Telecon, man.
Telecon.
Yeah, man. You name it, they're going to have it and thing, man.
From 11 a.m.
Yeah,
food
from mutton to crab to you
Ital,
name it. Yeah, ital, oil dung.
Fish.
Yeah,
Fish
seafood
oil
oil
style,
dung,
yes.
meat up oil dung,
No meat oil down.
Yeah.
Ital.
kalaloo, this, that, you name it. They have it up at the Mount Telecon. And they say that the food would be ready from around 11.
11 o'clock.
Around 11. All right. So you got the food and so they can head on up to the Mount Telecon.
Yeah.
All right.
Come and
I
have
think I lost that one. Yeah.
So
okay,
come-
mate. Got it now.
Good morning and welcome.
Hey, good morning, Brother Devon. Good morning, Brother Sheldon.
Morning.
Morning.
My friend.
Of everything.
Great, man.
Good.
Yeah. Brother, I think then I was looking back at government gun. I look to see which government that invest in the young people to see that could surpass this present government. And Brother Sheldon, when I look, I can't see no government, right, that pass, right, that invest in the young people as this government continue to invest in young people. Brother Sheldon, when I look at the Imani, okay, is this government the government that come in the Imani program, right, to assist young people who are home doing nothing, right? Look at the young men that used to be on the blocks, again, doing nothing. Look some of the young men, if you check in the Imani, you find more young ladies there. Some of the young men, they don't have time to go back into a class and to be academically more wise. Right? But what the government understand is, they said to themselves, well, they went to go, but they don't want, the young men want to go back there. But they found a way where you could get young men to help themselves in something like skills. And but as a young man, if you have a trade, you could get employed, you could get work. But if you don't have a trade, you can't do nothing. It hinder you. Look at the scholarship. This government giving the Grenadian people, scholarship goes to in different fields. I say this government continue to invest in the young people, and there is no government did as much as could do, and any government come in after the government. The amount of achievement that and investment that government place in the young people, I could say congratulations to the government for the wonderful work they are doing among the young people and to the Grenadian people. Look at infrastructure. Look at among the place that the government building. Who get employment is the Grenadian people. Right? So I want to say this government, they continue to do what they are doing, right? And the Grenadian people see definitely this government is a government for the people, a government that care and love people. I want to say to the government, continue to do what you are doing. You're on the right track, and and we, the Grenadian people, we see, we are eyes to see. And no one else to tell us, because we're right here and we've seen the development, we've seen the achievement. So I want to say kudos to the government for continue doing a wonderful work. When you do good, we follow you. Do bad, we follow you. So, Brother Devon Sheldon, you all have a wonderful day. God bless you all.
Thank
All
you,
right,
my
thank you.
friend. I want to say good morning to our senior citizens of the nation, silver-headed persons, I always call them. Good morning to all of you, wherever you are, listening, not listening, but hey. You know, just want to say good morning from the HARDTALK family, and hope that you're enjoying this beautiful day, in Grenada. And so,
Yeah, man. Miss Clytie, good morning to you. Say a special good morning to Miss Clytie and Miss Bernice, and also to
Cami,
Baker
good
Man.
morning to you, my dear.
Yeah, you're calling Cami Silver here. She here in black. Still black, man.
Yeah.
It ain't gone there yet.
No.
Yeah, it ain't gone there yet. Yeah. Miss Jacob, good morning to you.
I dying it.
I don't know about that. Good morning to you, Miss Jacob. Good morning to you, Mommy George. Hope that you all are having a fabulous day today. Mrs. Pierre, good morning to you. Hope you're having a fabulous one as well. All right. Nice. Beautiful. 440-7377.
And 347-329-3101.
Yeah, Depot is saying that the thing began years ago when a Jamo placed the crong in the middle of the stage and said, take it.
Look at it.
Well, Calypso is confrontational. You expect that.
Yeah.
Calypso, soca, even groovy to an extent, it's confrontational. Groovy is not so confrontational, but Kaiso and so it is confrontational. So you expect to have that sort of back and forth taking place.
And this year in the Carnival and in the Calypso competition, you will find a lot of that. You have the return of Beast, who love his pecan. Right, you have one or two other artists like Soa Serpent. Then you have the reigning champion Scholar. I mean, these guys they know how to energize, right, and to satisfy the people.
Mm-hmm. Yes, indeed. 4407377. That's the number for you to call.
Good morning to everyone out there, everyone on the live, including my good friends out there in Toronto, Montreal. Good morning to all of you. All right, nice of you to join us, and hope you're having a wonderful day.
Yeah, and Devon, yesterday during the post-cabinet press briefing, Prime Minister dealt with the mid-year economic review. And we saw several areas where there were increases there in agriculture and increase in production of 3.9% over last year for the same period. And that's the preliminary data that we're seeing for 2019 so far for the first period there. For the first quarter of 2019, nutmeg production increased by, and here the amount there, nutmeg production increased by 23%.
Wow, long time.
That's nearly quarter. It's increased. For the first quarter of 2019, nutmeg production increased by 23%.
It's been a long time, Sheldon, that we have not heard those figures.
Maize production increased by 123.5%. And cocoa production increased by 19.7%. Yeah, we ain't playing that with the Isle of Spice. We want back we think.
Yeah. and agriculture is not booming? Wow. Good morning and welcome.
Sheldon and Devon.
Good morning.
Good morning and good morning to Grenada, Carriacou, and Grenadians all over the globe now who's listening to our talk. Mr. Deputy and his wife and your son, good morning. Sheldon and Devon, I can't catch myself good yet, no boy.
I know. We understand.
You know, I lost one of my best friends. My best friend, Dr. Thomas. And that really hit me hard, boy.
Yeah.
I can't get over up to this day. Can't get over. You know, I could have called that man anytime and we talk for hours on the phone. Hours we will talk. Anything we talk about. Politics, but people, the way how people have to live. We talk about health, everything. And I really, I can't get over that. My sympathy goes to his children and his family and to all the Grenadian people. A very nice doctor. We could never get another doctor. Never. Remember, about 2 months back, I called your station and I said, Sheldon, I asking the people to keep that, honor that man before he dead. And you see what happened? Dr. Thomas had his office in casualty room. There the office was, you know. And I'm really hurting. I'm really hurting. That's my best friend. Any hour that I call that man, if he can come, he's sending somebody to pick me up. He come in all year in the terminal and sung me and say about me right there, right to think that go and get me medication. I go never. I ain't no boy. God alone not know. Anyhow, I'm trying to be strong.
Of course, you have to.
I know you want me to be shouted. Knowing it.
Nope.
If you're alive and somebody else not, that's it. Lady Kami just called me. Who want me to be sad? But I'm holding on there. And that's been Mr. Scott and Mr. Devon, Mr. Romain. Are you there with me?
Yep.
You have some people in this country that have to stop this kind of mischievousness they're going on with. They're listening and they're listening to our talk. I'm asking them, please, to stop this mischief. Do not lie on people. You have some people in Grenada, not all. There are some good people in this country, but you have some people that just mischievous. Do not, I know they listen, Do not lie on me. If you all really need something from Mr. David or the David family, go to them and tell them, look, I have a problem here and I want that. Do not lie on me, scammy. Don't do it. I beg you all you, because all you will get me upset. And I won't call all your names. I will call the media. I am going to call one of the media houses and give them an interview about these people that line on me. Don't do it. Because at the end of the day, I come to St. George's all hours here and make 2 good sticks and sell me little blower and me little fish and me little water to $100. I don't depend on the minister or anybody in government for nothing. I don't want people to lie me. I don't do this thing. Do not do it. And I know they're listening. Yeah? And next thing, before I go, Mr. Scott, with the press conference yesterday, I love how the Prime Minister handled that lady. I mean, you go to a press conference, you want to speak about things that is happening in the country. Things that is what's happening in the country. Ask him about the economy. Ask him this and ask him that. You go on in a man's personal business. And I like how he said, don't go there. Don't go there. Because you won't like nobody talk about you. That's how it comes from. Grenadian days. Stop it, or you have to stop this thing. And the last, you know that see yesterday in September, I went to Bob Life for an hour. Mr. Scott, if you see them, the house, I see the project with the Chinese thing. Well, just not that people go get the place. They don't have much thing to do there again because I look at it. And it's a nice project for a lot of people in Grenada that live in September and them place want to get somewhere to live. People that really in need. These are the things you have to talk about. Go around as a journalist and look around the different sites where what is going on, and then you approach the Prime Minister. Look at in Busheju. Again, big work going on up there. And as I'm on the air, I want to let Glenn know that the Chinese people, they tie in the lines, the 2 lines together, and that was the because they want it high. The big truck and thing they are pulling it down. So I don't know if you can look into that. Somebody is listening.
Which area?
They want to see. And try bring it up. Because that was crossfire and people tie the 2 wires together. They're rushing to crossfire and people will lose their homes and everything. Because they can't understand when I'm speaking to them. I'm making signs, but they don't understand. So somebody have to speak English to go to them and let people go and see. Because you could crossfire the 2 lines, they tie them together, that could cause fire. Thank you very much and have a good day.
All right, Scammy.
Okay?
All right.
Cams.
Have a wonderful day, darling.
Send it out for me, please, Sheldon Devon.
Yes, we will.
Connect people to go and see the wire. They make me because they every time the truck pull on the thing, TV going off.
Whoa.
Thank you.
Okay. All right.
So, yes.
God bless. That's a very good observation there.
Yeah.
Scammy, and I guess the authorities will be appealing to them to take a look at it and see what is going on. Good morning and welcome.
Good morning to you both, gentlemen.
Good morning, sir.
Yeah, and to the general public, listening public.
Yeah.
Yeah, I saw that there is a project going on in Guab. I think it's a medical.
Yes.
This is a really good project, and the size, I like the size of it. Is that a mini hospital?
Yes, you can say that.
Yeah. I think that will do good for the western side and northern side of the island in order to carry out health service there. And they're working very speedily on that, you know?
Yeah.
Also, I could just comment a bit on the press briefing yesterday.
Sure.
Yeah. For instance, yesterday, the Prime Minister was on air, and he mentioned that he just returned from a management meeting at the Ministry of Finance that he responsible for. And he goes on to say that. And just to report that, so for the middle of the year, our economy continued to remain one of the stronger in the region, with another year of serious growth projecting, he said. He going to say the tourism and transport sector appear to be the main or major drivers, which is also supported and complemented seriously by the increase in agriculture activities in the country as a whole. He goes on also to say that the construction sector continue to be, but because of the tremendous increase, you say we saw last year, we may not necessarily see a massive increase in growth because of last year was a much robust year. So he goes on to say again that, but the construction sector continue to provide tremendous job opportunity and economic activity, which will continue, of course. But the Prime Minister did well in explaining all this, because when you look at the Grenada economy, I think that tourism and construction are the key sectors now running the economy. Yeah? He also linked it with agriculture, but I think there's a lot more that could be done in the agriculture sector. They are doing, but there is much more that could be done. He also talk about transportation. I can see an increase in the amount of vehicles and stuff coming here. But you know what I really want to mention there? I think we need to address the socio-economic background, which is the working and living condition of the people. So in other words, we need to look at housing a little bit more. They are doing housing, yeah? But we need to look at healthcare, the education system, and the working conditions, for instance, social security, pension, fringe benefits. These are the more important sectors, I think, in any economy. Lastly, I want to mention about the unemployment. You say unemployment was 40% plus in 2003. And then he said it is now 16.7% in the first quarter of this year. He also said that there was scientific research done to come up to this 16.7%. But I don't think that unemployment will drop so speedily. In other words, you're telling me there is almost zero unemployment. And I don't think no country would ever have zero unemployment. That's what I wanted to say, guys, on the statement.
Okay, no problem. Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, have a good day.
Have a wonderful day, my friend.
No, I don't think that any country has zero unemployment.
And would never.
No country. There is not a country that exists. There's not a city that exists, unless it have nobody living in the city. But there is not a country that exists that has zero unemployment. Some have high figures, some have medium figures, some have low figures. And the aim of every country is try to bring your figures as low as possible. Employment is not measured by how many people are not working. It's measured by how many people are actively seeking employment and unable to find. Let me say that again. Unemployment is not measured by how many people are not working. Because if you were measuring unemployment by how many people are not working, you'd have to take into consideration all the elderly, all the children who are under a certain age, the disabled, and so on. So that would be what you're taking. But what you take is the people who can work, are actively looking for work and unable to find.
Good morning and welcome.
Good morning, gentlemen.
Morning.
And pleasant morning to your listening audience. Well, let me start off by saying here, before I get into the questions I want to ask here. Now, Mr. Romain and Mr. Scott, do you all know what gets me high politically? What gets me high politically speaking is knowing that is because the NNP already have the sling with the stone, and the NDC don't even have a Goliath. Let me get into what the meat of my story. Now, these are the questions I'm to ask. Is Grenada economy doing far better today under this government in contrast to the last? The answer is yes. financially speaking, is Grenada much better off today? The answer is yes. Is unemployment lower today in contrast to the last government? The answer is yes. Are we managing our national debt today better in contrast to the last government? The answer is yes. Do we have more people working today in contrast to when we have the No Crazy Party? The answer is yes. Do we have more people investing in the country today in contrast to when we have the NDC in office? The answer is yes. Is Grenada one of the safest places in the world? Yes. Is Grenada being run with an $18 million a month deficit? And the answer is no. Does Grenada have the safest summer festival in the world? The answer is yes. And I'll go back to my original point here. Do you know what gets me high politically? Is knowing that the NNP already have the sling and the stone ready, and the NDC can't even find a Goliath. Gentlemen, you all have a pleasant day.
All right, thank you.
You too, my friend.
I like to go and joke thing, eh? Them just like to come and joke
I could give him a Goliath, you know.
Oh boy! But the thing is, I think we have so much positive news.
So much.
When you look on the tourism front, you see stayover visitor arrivals. In other words, not the people who are coming by the cruise ships, but the people who are coming via flights and via ships and stay in Grenada for an extended a day or two or overnight in Grenada. So stayover visitors. The number of arrivals increased by 3.8% for the first half of 2019 compared to the same period last year. So it's a 3.8% increase in the number of people that have been staying over in Grenada. Cruise arrivals during the period increased by 0.3% compared to the same period in 2018. So a slight increase there in cruise ship, right? So it's saying here, from all indications, Grenada's short to medium term economic prospects. So for the short term, the next few months, into the medium term, next year or two, remains positive. The GDP of Grenada is projected on an average at 3.6% over the period 2019 to 2020. I think we have a call on the line. Oh, we lost that one. Yeah, right? So, and I think this part is what the caller was referring to when he spoke of the labor force survey that was done in the third quarter of 2018. And it showed a decline in the unemployment rate down from 21.7% in the second quarter to 16.7% in the third quarter. But remember, at that time you had Silver Sands and all of that building and so on, right? The construction, whole and retail trade, and agriculture and fishing sectors employed the largest numbers of persons in the third quarter. So they didn't say people here in the tourism sector. They said in construction, whole and retail trade, so those people who are working in retail sales, in stores and that kind of thing, and wholesale and so, and agriculture and fishing.
Yeah.
And we're seeing the steady increases when it comes to agriculture and fishing, because remember the figures that we're looking at here. Nutmeg production increased by 23%, maize by 123.5%, and cocoa by 19.7%. We have a call on the line.
Good morning and welcome.
Hey, morning, Sheldon, and morning, Devon.
Good
Morning.
How you guys doing?
Yes, we good.
Yeah, I just wanted to say to Scotty, man, who in the right mind will want to go and be a Goliath for NDC? After what NNP just did in the last election, they put to rest a prime minister and his deputy politically, put them to rest. Who else in the right mind will want to go and be another Goliath? You know, that's why they're searching for Goliath. Thank you, guys, man.
All right. You never know. You never know who want to be so brave. Pot of food attempting.
He's still around. He's still around, NDC.
Yeah, he's still around.
I thought the old PRO take back over as PRO.
Well, there's a tussle. If you remember, or if you see what's going on right now, the old guards are beginning to surface once more again. So you know the the potential for conflict is brewing. But, that's not our problem. NDC always have some issues to deal with. Yeah.
I'm looking at some of the other figures here for the first half of 2019. So total revenue for the first half of 2019 amounted to 389.9 million, which is a 3.4% more than what was collected in the first half of 2018. Drivers are income and property taxes and VAT, so people are buying more and people are paying up on their property taxes. And so public debt at the end of June 2019, total public debt, which includes central government debt and government guaranteed debt, stood at 59.5% of GDP, or 192,000.2 million. Well, in other words, I think that means 1.9 billion. Right, which marks an increase of 4.4% from the same period in 2018, where public debt was recorded at 63.9 of GDP, or a little over 2 billion. Yeah, so it's on the downward trajectory. All right, so some good economic news there for Grenada. But certain people didn't want to hear that.
Yeah, and some of you who always, what's the national debt? You've been listening to Dr. Mitchell yesterday?
To get the figures, but they ain't going to talk about that.
No, they won't talk about it. You see, they have the figures right there, and they had it already, But they just wanted to hear Dr. Mitchell say it.
I tell you already, that organization is a Kobo party.
Yeah.
They could only deal with destruction, debt, and them kind of things. So that's what they could deal with. Kobo. Anyway. They know about construction. They know about destruction. They know about building. They know about destroying.
And most of all, they don't have love.
Well, boy.
No love for people.
4407377
and 347-329-3101.
Interesting question posed to the Prime Minister yesterday about the Venezuela situation.
Yes.
And saying
Very
that
good answer.
Grenada can't handle an influx of to the level of what you've been seeing in Trinidad and what you've been seeing in countries like Colombia and even to an extent countries like Guyana and Suriname and Brazil and all these other countries that are surrounding Venezuela, and some of them 2 countries off. Yeah. They've been having some significant numbers of Venezuelans crossing over to their borders. And also Prime Minister indicating that while you have different individuals, organizations, maybe even governments that wants the Grenada government and the Grenadian people to take a particular side. In other words, they want them to either you support the opposition and support a person who was not elected by the Venezuelan people, but want them support that person as the president of Venezuela. And others who would say support the present president. And so the position of CARICOM continues. The position of the government of Grenada continues, that what is needed in a situation like this is dialogue between the two sides. Because at the end of the day, whether they're in opposition or in government, all of them is Venezuelan. So to fix whatever problems Venezuela has, it needs all of them. And the Caribbean countries, the CARICOM countries, are willing to be the arbitrators in this situation. They are willing to be the countries that bring both sides. Say, all you want to come and go in Calivini Island and sit down and talk? Both sides? No problem.
And as a matter of fact,
talk to us.
As a matter of fact, within the last couple of weeks, you found that there are signs that negotiations or talks between the opposition and the government either has taken place in Barbados or is about to take place, right? With the help of I think it's the Swiss. They are involved in negotiations as mediators.
I haven't seen.
With the Venezuelan teams, and that is important. Dr. Mitchell also reiterated CARICOM's position, right, to negotiation, and the CARICOM governments will not, at least most of them, will not bend, right, to be forcing to take a side. It can't work so. Dialogue must be the order of the day. That's only how you can reach a solution. All right? You have to dialogue. Don't try to get us to take one side or another. No. We are one people. We believe in negotiation as a team, We come together to solve problems, not to create more problems.
4407377. You know how holding the mic did kind of blocking my view from seeing. Let me just see if I could get a little angle. Nice, much better. Yeah, I was kind of blocking my view of the thing, so I couldn't see. All right, yeah, 4407377. I think we have a call online.
Good morning and welcome.
Sheldon and Devon.
Darling.
It's Crystal birthday, so he asked me to give him a greeting sign. Number 6 over the hills, Crystal. Crystal birthday today. That's why we call him back to say happy birthday to him.
All right, my dear.
All
No
right,
problem.
my dear.
Right, thank
All
you.
Crystal.
Yes, man, the original boss himself.
Yes, the original boss.
The big boss man.
Happy birthday, my friend.
Rex, you and Bala and them set him up nicely. Desmond, old
Stan-
dog, all they set him up
Stanley and
nicely.
Ram. Let Ram buy the Guinness.
No, hey, no drinking while he had the man at the drive, brother.
No, you don't drive into today's birthday.
Chris, get somebody else the boss and let her drive today. You know?
Sit down by Kami and have fun. Kami will take good care of you, boss.
They'll get a bottle of water.
Yeah.
Yes, indeed. 4407377. We have roughly about a little under 30 minutes remaining on today's program. And folks, again, reminding you of the NNP All Day Fete. It is taking place this Saturday. And just to give you a quick reminder.
Saturday, August 3rd, it's NNP's All Day Fete. From 12 noon, we kick it off.
NNP's All Day Fete.
Enjoy great music, top DJs, top artists, and of course the food in the All Day Fete. Enjoy our national dish.
All down.
Barbecue.
Pilau, crab and dumpling.
Curry mutton, waters, pea soup, Creole fish, cuckoo, and callaloo, chicken, fish, fries, and many more. A solid bar. Other attractions includes card games, dominoes, and of course some of your top and favorite artists. Carnival Saturday, August 3rd, NNP's All Day Fete at the Party Office, Big Yard, Mount Helicon, and St. George's. See you there.
Yes, indeed. All right. Yeah. So as we said again, 4407377.
And 347-329-3101.
Watch, I feel tomorrow we're going to give away our 2 tickets to the NNP All Day Fete. Yeah, we're going to give away our 2 tickets. But folks, also remember the Honorable Gregory Bowen, he'll be in his constituency office tomorrow. Yeah, the Parliamentary Representative's office. He will be in office tomorrow. That's the Honorable Gregory Bowen. He was not in office last week, but he will be in office this week. So in case you want to go and check him out, head on over there tomorrow, down in Labary.
Yes.
Yeah, all right. You know when you say Labary, that's other. Yeah, only find a bass towards the band. Well, the song good. I like the song.
Song good.
Yeah, man. I like that song.
Good morning to all the bus drivers of the nation. And be mindful of your role, your responsibility of providing good, efficient service over Spice Mass. Okay? And I'm not just asking you to do that for Spice Mass. You have been doing that for how many years? Continue to do that. And good morning to our police officers, members of the traffic department and other departments of the Royal Grenada Police Force. Good morning to you. And comrades, continue as you are doing. The nation is behind you. Do a good job. Keep our nation safe.
And Devon, we continue into the Rainbow City weekend.
Yes.
1 or 2 activities. I know they have a Queen show and they have 1 or 2 other
We
things.
don't
Somebody
have the
from
dates.
Seydu could
Yes.
let us know
Please.
the date, time, prices, all them kind of thing.
Yes.
You can let us know.
Buka, Miss Ventu, please give us a call. 5 minutes. Peter Bain. I mean, you guys, give us some information. I mean, we need to share it.
Well, who
with our
knows, you know?
listeners,
Yeah.
you know? And this person I call in there, they have information. I know they have. They can share. Give us a call. Let us know what is going on so we can help promote, right, the Rainbow City Festival as it takes place.
But you know, one of the callers before, they spoke about improving the socio-economic sense of Grenadians. And if you look at it, you see that is exactly what the government is trying to do.
At this point.
By the 600 plus houses that are being built and so on. Because, for instance, in St. Patrick, some of the people who are in Mount Rodney, that's being affected by the sea surge and those different things in that area there. They are being offered the opportunity now to move to that new housing project, so they could get a brand new place in the housing project and that sort of thing. And in Carriacou, I think this is the first housing project. I can't remember of another housing project
I've not known
ever
any
taken
housing
place
project.
in Carriacou.
Any government housing project.
Yeah. So now you have this housing project taking place in Carriacou, offering an opportunity to young and not so young Carriacouians, and even Petit Martinicans who may want to move from Petit Martinique to Carriacou to own a house, to have an apartment of their own.
In St. John's.
Yeah, in St. John. And again, in St. John, remember you have it's under what project again?
The Housing Authority.
Housing Authority of Grenada. So you're going to have that housing project taking place. So the houses might be slightly different to what the Chinese.
Different and so the Chinese are building basically a complex apartment buildings and so units.
And that'll be the first housing project ever in the history of St. John.
Yes, it will be. St. Mark's already had, St. Andrews had. And so St. David's already had.
At that time, St. John was one of the largest constituencies. Because when we were speaking about splitting constituencies, we're basically speaking about splitting St. David. I'm talking about way back. We're speaking about splitting St. David and St. John, Yeah, they were talking about splitting St. John into St. John North and St. John South or something like that. But years upon years ago, they were talking about splitting St. John. It used to be one of the biggest constituencies. Now, you have the two biggest constituencies being St. David and South St. George. Especially South St. George is actually larger than St. David by numbers.
Yeah, it's growing.
Yeah, of people registered in the south of the island. The numbers are actually larger than what you have in St. David. But St. David is larger by size, landmass. Yeah. So it's an interesting dynamic there.
We're sticking to the point with the socio-economic, development of our country, and you mentioned about the houses and so. But even this government is going further. Those persons who have houses already are being given the opportunity, right, to put in a bathroom, toilet facilities. Most of them who used to be using what we used to usually call the pit latrines on the outside and so. Now these are things of the past. All right, you're finding that government is assisting.
I wish we don't none anywhere existing in the state again by the time we're done. I think we need to declare war on that. Get rid of that.
Because imagine you have your mother or your grandmother or even your sisters living inside your house at night and go outside, to use the toilet facilities or even to bathe. We cannot allow that anymore. And this government has been proactive over the last couple of years in ensuring that our people are being given, much more decent way of life,
but
especially.
The caller also mentioned the issue of healthcare.
Yes.
But the same caller also mentioned that there was that mini hospital-like health facility being built in St. John, far advanced. For those of you who are not frequenting St. John, you may not know. But for those of you that are, to see how far it has gotten thus far.
They are moving.
Yeah, but that's just one thing. That's the structure. But as it is right now, you have several nurses who have graduated, who some of them have done their induction course now to become full-fledged, integrate them into the healthcare system. Now, there's still an exam that some have to write. Even though you may do your university exams and so on, you're qualified from that perspective to actually practice fully as a nurse, put on the white, and practice fully as a nurse. In the state of Grenada, there's an exam that they need to do that some of them will be doing in October and so on. But then there are the others who just don't seem interested in staying in Grenada. They've completed their studies and so on. Some of them on scholarships, but they just don't seem interested in working in Grenada. Yeah,
I think perhaps the lucrative offer they're being given out, in different like United Kingdom, United States, and so on. You can't blame them. You can't fault them for that. They're looking in their mind, looking for betterment and everything like that. And so, and it's not a problem that we have here in Grenada alone. Throughout the Caribbean, there are a lot of Caribbean countries, right, who have been experiencing this problem, from Guyana to Trinidad to Barbados and everything like that. And so we need to, as a people, pay attention and to ensure that we have a pool, right, of persons who can service the health.
I think that has been one of the problems that you've been hearing from the staff at the hospitals. You've been hearing of the lack of nurses and that sort of thing. And it's not for lack of doing. But if you're working for a particular salary here in Grenada, and then you're hearing that people are working for 4 and 5 times that in the United States, and contrary to what a lot of people hear and believe, when it comes to countries like the United States and the United Kingdom and Canada and so on, and they're talking about anti-immigration and they don't want people immigrating there, they're speaking about unqualified people, you know.
Yeah.
When you have people with doctorates and nursing degrees and these kind of things looking to immigrate to these places, they're grabbing them, you know.
Grabbing them, they're giving them citizenship
immediately. They're
immediately.
grabbing them. Yeah, you're getting your green card, you're getting where you have to get wherever it is you need to get. You're getting pink card and all you have to get it. But they're grabbing them. And you're seeing a lot of people, because some people don't look at it as, okay, I'm providing a service to my country alone. They look at it as, well, no, I have to take care of myself and my family and so on, and they fly out. So you have that cycling now, where in some instances you may be understaffed when it comes to nurses in some facilities. And that is why government has focused so heavily on ensuring that you get some qualified ones going through the system. And I know that about at least 8 of them recently completed a course. There might be more. I know of at least 8 that completed. And I'm not talking about from the university. I'm talking about a course with the Ministry of Health and so on. And they should be placed now into the healthcare system. And when they do the exam, then they could put on the white and think they fully knows. Yeah. But there's some others that just don't, as I said, some others that just don't seem interested. They complete their studies, scholarship, whatever, and they're not interested because they're just trying to buy time and say, well, okay, 2 years go past and now in the system I could go. And they're gone to whichever country it is. Yeah?
Which is, I mean, and we can't, as I say, you can't fault them for that, but I would really hope that, you know, the level of consciousness of our people and so, you know, we should see and do more to ensure that our country, our people is being taken care of first. Because in my view, if you can't take care of yourself, it's very difficult to take care of somebody else. You know, and so Grenada, I mean, we have been trying, right? The politicians or leaders have been putting things in place to ensure the improvement of the healthcare, the housing, and so the agriculture. But as a people, we need to want it. We need to put more into it as a people. All right? And we will get there. We'll get there. And trust me, we have a proactive government, right? A proactive group of politicians who mean well in servicing the people. All right? And that is something that we must take note of. If you don't have persons who can lead the process, then you're not going anywhere.
Let me say, the caller spoke on the socio-economic standpoint. They spoke about healthcare. And let me just say some of the things that are being done for healthcare. One, you'll realize, and all of us realize, that we now have significant coverage when it comes to ambulance service here in Grenada. We're not perfect. Nobody is saying that we're perfect. But we have significant coverage when it comes to ambulances here in Grenada right now. Much better than we have ever had. And again, we're not saying that it's perfect, but it is the best that we've had. Any point in history, this is the best that we've had when it comes to ambulance services here on the island. I remember a particular time between 2008 and 2013 where it was a problem just to buy battery or to buy tires for an ambulance. Yeah, I remember it had one park up, and maybe still park up there behind Princess Alice and so on. So you had all of these things taking place then. You've seen the accident and emergency wing nearing completion. Quite a lot of work that has taken place in the accident and emergency unit up there in at the General Hospital, so that you can move out now from where Dr. Tomo gave his sterling service in the accident and emergency unit across there, and the other doctors and nurses who try their best in the circumstances over there to get them from there into the brand new facility, but also to offer new services at the brand new facility that presently
not offering.
Patients have to leave to get and then go back. So sometimes you go in there and they have to send you for ultrasound and different things. Well, the ultrasounds you get there, the x-rays you get there, but sometimes like the MRI and these different things that people have to leave. So they have to get ambulance now to take you, to bring you down to the Carriacou for those services. So instead of that those services will be offered right there at the accident and emergency. But in addition to that, in addition to all that, when it comes to the issue of payment. That's why we have this significant discussion in relation to the national health insurance taking place. Yeah? So that everybody can be afforded health care through the national health insurance. Yeah? So that whether it's a small payment you're making or whatever mechanism is used to fund it, but that each and every one of us, when we have an issue, will be able to receive health care at the general hospital facility. And indeed, the basket of services that will be offered. You can have a person that come in with a head injury and then you have to put them in an ambulance and send them down to the coronage to go and do a brain scan to bring them back up, and it might kill them. So if the facility can offer those services, if you can upgrade the X-ray services and the ultrasound services and also do MRI and other specialist services at the facility. Recently, we had Honorable Peter David holding discussions with the Russian government in relation to procuring some of the equipment that can then go down to that same facility here in St. George, and possibly even have some that could be used in Carriacou and Princess Alice as well.
Yeah.
Because you don't want to have to take a person from Princess Alice and drive them all the way down to town if they have an injury to go and do a certain exam. That the basics can be done up there at least.
We don't have helicopter service as yet.
Yeah.
You know, and so but, we get in there.
Yeah, so we need to get to that particular area, even in the facility that's now being constructed in St. John, that you might be able to have at least maybe if it's an X-ray unit or ultrasound unit up there, so the persons don't have to leave and come down to town to go and do an X-ray or ultrasound. And I think some of the viewers who are online, they'll be seeing the facility that's being constructed in St. John there. Yeah, thank you to my good partner that sent it in there. Yeah, so you'll be seeing the facility being constructed up there in St. John. Nice. And that's going to serve the entire West Coast. What happens if you have some impediment in the road coming down on the West Coast? Yeah, it's happened before. During Tropical Storm Lenny, we've had it. During the collapse, the boulder that collapsed there back in 2008, 2009, it happened that you couldn't have traffic flowing down, that to find all kind of by road and side road and go right or wrong and so on to get down to town for extended periods of time. So you don't want it to reach to that stage that if somebody needs urgent health care, that they can't get it because the road block. Yeah? You want to be able to at least stabilize them. Whether it's in Carriacou at Princess Royal, in St. Andrew at Princess Alice, or at this new facility that's being built on the west coast of the island in St. John, you want to be able to at least stabilize the person or the people before you can get them to your main facility. And this is what is being looked at with these outer health facilities. And that does look at the socio-economic aspect of things and the health aspect of things.
And then the whole question, to top it up with that, the whole question that the government has been concentrating on the whole question of primary health care, right, throughout the island. You see, so instead of we overloading the hospitals and so on, the service provided there, right, the different health centers around our islands are being equipped, right, with the sort of services that our people can access. That is what we want. That is the place we are moving to, eventually, for Grenada to become much more efficient when it comes to health service.
Mm-hmm. So yes, looking at the socio-economic, you are looking at the socio-economic and not just the economic aspects of it. And we're not hearing people really talking much about the fact that you're seeing the increases in agriculture. A lot of people just saying, oh, you abandon agriculture, abandon agriculture. Now, is it the government or the people that abandoned agriculture? Just the other day, you're starting back with the citrus plants, and so citrus had a serious problem over the years. The past few years, we had disease running havoc with the citrus. They've got it under control now, and now the Ministry of Agriculture putting out a lot of citrus again. You have the fact that Grenada is exporting sauersups and so to the U.S. market.
Only, and not just Grenada, only Caribbean country
that can export today, and that's due to the way that the government dealt with the millibug years ago. So it's gotten to the stage now that Grenada can send the whole fruit. Trinidad, I think they have to pulp it. They have to pulp it first. They can't send the whole thing. They have to pulp it and put it in buckets and so and send it off. And You've heard from the Minister of Agriculture, the Honorable Yolande Bain Hosford, that they've embarked now on extending the amount of lands, the acreage, in relation to spices in particular. Because we can't be the island of spice and you hardly have any spices. We can't be the Isle of Spice and you hardly have any spices.
Yeah, we can't have full of container of clove to send it out.
Yeah.
Come on, we need to do better than that.
We need to have significant number of clove and
we are
Devon, when
moving
last you see a
towards-
clove tree?
Well, perhaps a couple of weeks ago, right there
Okay.
in St. Andrews. I'm in St. Andrews, so you'll
Yeah.
see that time to
Mhm.
time.
But you
But
know,
the
the thing
amount
is, yeah.
that it used to have, the
Because
depletion is great.
a lot of the people cut down the clove tree and they cut down the cinnamon tree and the other trees and so on,
And
even the
then we
nutmeg
lost
tree
a
and so
lot
on.
in Ivan. We
And
lost a lot.
People cut down some and put houses. Yeah. So all of that has to be taken into consideration. Yeah. Oh boy. Yeah. And good morning to you, Damian Daniel. Yeah, I think he's in Barbados on his way home.
Wow.
Yeah. The muscle man himself.
After victory, after how all this. It's all right, Damian. Don't worry. The Grenada Airways will be back. Direct flight wherever you go.
You like Tingwe.
A true champion. But
Hey, as you
Damian,
said
yeah.
that, increased flights take effect right around now
Right
because you
around
have
now.
the
Blue,
Carnival
Jet
crew
Blue,
coming in. Yeah, they
everybody
double up.
added, yeah. And not
Airport
just
busy.
that, the bookings from the airlines are basically filled. Persons are calling and trying to get into Grenada. And so, as a matter of fact, a good friend of mine is asking if the ferry service from Trinidad to Grenada would be in effect. Because
know
what
that now. I'm
you,
trying to see nothing
you
on that.
understand nothing going on. Well, because what he's trying to do, he spoke and he said, look, if I can get last minute, man, I would rather go to Trinidad and take that ferry service and get to Grenada and back to Trinidad.
Well,
you know, so
hopefully he
hey,
could jump on one of them boat and then
exactly. I wish him all the best.
Yeah, you have
you know.
regatta coming up in Carriacou this weekend as well.
Yes.
So regatta coming up. And folks, in our final few minutes, let's just remind you all of this. It is the festive season, but we have to be on our P's and Q's. One, continue to look out for the counterfeit currency. As we know, the Eastern Caribbean Central Bank have issued new notes. They've already started distribution of the $50 note. And very soon will be distribution of the $100 note. Right? Followed later on in the year by the 20. I think around Christmas you'll see the 20s. And then the 10s and 5s next year.
Yeah.
Now, the thing with that is it means that counterfeiters or people that are holding any amount of counterfeit money, they're going to try to get rid of it over the next few months. Between now and Christmas, they're going to try to dump as much of it as possible. So whether it's the counterfeit $100 bills or the counterfeit $50 bills, specifically those of you who are vending for the carnival period or vending at some of the shows and so on, be on your P's and Q's, be very careful because you wouldn't like to reach to deposit at the bank and then realize you have a $3,000 in funny money that you can't deposit. Yeah? You wouldn't like to reach to the bank and realize that you've lost $3,000 or you've lost a $5,000 and so on. So you need to be very careful with that. You need to be on the lookout for that.
Yeah.
Young ladies, remember I was saying I hadn't heard of anybody being drugged, and so I got a case of that happened recently again. So be very careful. Women as well as men, no matter what age, of accepting drinks and food uncovered, opened from people. Yeah, and sometimes it's the person that you trust is the one that's going to place whatever they place in it. So there was a situation of a young lady. She went missing, and it was a situation where she had been drugged. Yeah, she had been drugged, ended up at the general hospital. And when they did the tests and so on, they realized that something had been placed into a drink that she was, and wasn't even an alcoholic drink, but something had been placed into the drink that she was given. And it took effect a little later than the individuals were hoping, so they weren't able to do anything to her. But it took effect a little later than the individuals were hoping it would take effect on her.
Of course, her life.
Yeah, and she ended up at the general hospital. So folks, be very careful. Be very careful of the taking drinks, accepting drinks from people out there just like that, open drinks and that kind of thing. Me, I ain't good. Yes, I've been drink sooner. Not at all, nah.
Yes, Depot. Perhaps we can lick Donkey Blanc while it's building in truth. Caribbean Oceanfront Inn.
You first, Depot. You were the first sledgehammer.
Yeah. Big investor, Depot.
Yes, indeed. So, folks, and then on the Nation's Road, please be careful. Because I know there are events tonight. Like today is Wednesday, so there's Hot Wednesday. So there are events that are going to be taking place tonight. The weekend really starts tonight. So you're going to have activities taking place tonight, tomorrow, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday. Yeah, and then Tuesday seems as the rest day.
The rest day between.
But then Wednesday you have pre-day, and then you have Queen Show and La Vida, and you have Soca and Groovy, and going Friday, fully Panorama. Into it starting really tonight. Yeah. So we're asking you all to please be careful. I think we have what would be our final caller for today.
Good morning and welcome. Hello.
Hello.
Hi, good morning.
Good morning. How are you? I'm calling from Minister Burns' office, letting you know that he will be in office tomorrow. It starts from 8.
Okay. We did mention it. All right. Thank you.
Thank you very much, my dear.
We did mention it, so we're lucky. We was in front.
So Minister Bowen
will be in office tomorrow. Please, all right, folks. So that's about it. That's all the time we have for Hard Talk today. It's been wonderful being here with you. And in whatever you say and do it safe and secure. We want to be speaking to and with you.
Not about you.
Love each and every one of you. So do enjoy the rest of your day.
Saturday, August 3rd. It's
Prime Minister says Grenada economy remains strong and another year of growth is projected. Details to this story and more in the National Report. With the details to the news for Tuesday, July 30th, I am Leslie Ann Johnson. Prime Minister and Minister for Finance, Dr. The Right Honourable Keith Mitchell, says the Grenada economy remains strong in 2019 with another year of growth being projected. In 2018, the Grenada economy was recognized by the Caribbean Development Bank as the fastest growing economy in the region. Speaking during Tuesday's post-cabinet press briefing, Dr. Mitchell said, and I quote, "The tourism and transport sectors appear to be the main drivers of growth, along with continued recovery in the agriculture sector," unquote. The Prime Minister added that the construction sector, although not as robust as last year, continues to be a major source of economic activity and employment in 2019. Dr. Mitchell also revealed the results of the labor force survey for the third quarter of 2018. He says the results show a decline in the rate of unemployment from 21.7% to 16.7% in the third quarter of 2018. When questioned about efforts to further reduce unemployment, Dr. Mitchell said that will be influenced by the level of private sector projects and the training and empowerment of young people. On the issue of public debt, he revealed that at the end of June 2019, total public debt stood at 59.5% of GDP, compared with the 108% that existed in 2013 when the current administration first resumed office.
Which is $1.924 billion, which marks a decrease of 4.4% from the same period in 2018, where the public debt recorded at 63.9% of GDP, which was $2.0215 billion.
The Prime Minister also noted that the number of projects currently underway and those set to come on stream represent a clear indication of private sector confidence in the local economy.
We've announced and it's on track, the Range project, 100 rooms, 6 cents resort at Las Adjust in St. David's, and that project is expected to be launched on the 23rd of August, which is very soon, 2019, and it's over $300 million in investment and employment, of course. And what is good about this, it's in the rural portion in St. David's. And this There will be a 240 hotel room luxury resort encompassing 3 properties at True Blue. This is Homer Limited project with an investment over $60 million and it's carded for implementation in 2019.
Shared responsibility to address disaster management. That is the commitment of government and disaster management officials who are meeting here for 2 days in the annual stakeholders consultation at the National Stadium. The consensus is that all sectors must work together to improve disaster resilience to become more effective. Minister with responsibility for disaster management and information, Senator Winston Garwe, says despite our strengths, Grenada is prone to disasters, and the impact on our economies remind us of the need to pay attention to action-based resilience and responsibility sharing.
Our new focus is on shared responsibility, one where political leaders, governments, business, the churches, community leaders, and the non-profit sector all adopt increased or improved disaster management and advisory roles and contribute to achieving integrated and coordinated disaster resilience through information sharing. In turn, our communities, individuals, and households need to take greater responsibility for their own safety and act on information, advice provided before, during, and after a disaster.
Mrs. Roxy McLeish Hutchinson, Permanent Secretary in the Ministry of Climate Resilience, says we need to empower individuals to be more self-reliant and prepared to take responsibility for the risks that we face.
A disaster-resilient community is one that works together to understand and manage the risk that it confronts. Disaster resilience is a collective responsibility of all the sectors in our society, including all levels of government, business, non-government sectors, and individuals. If all of these sectors work together with a united focus and a shared sense of responsibility to improve disaster resilience, they will be far more effective than the individual efforts of one sector. We cannot do it alone. Working together also and drawing on the expertise and capacity of various partners produces far greater results than individual efforts. Partnerships across and within governments, businesses, non-profit organizations, and the community will create a well-informed, integrated, and coordinated approach to increasing disaster resilience, and the result will be a more resilient nation.
This is the National Report. More news after the break.
Every summer, the Spice Island of Grenada is transformed into the Caribbean's biggest party, Spice Man. Coming down to Grenada. Come experience the warmth of our people, trending theme fats, the revelry, the pageantry, and why we are the Jab Nation. The Kids Our Future shines on August 3rd in the Children's Carnival Frolic and the Junior Calypso Show. 7 beauties take center stage as the Queen of Carnival is crowned on majestic Thursday, August 8th. The prestigious Soca and Groovy Monarchs are crowned on Carnival Friday night, August 9th. Enjoy the pulsating rhythms of the Still Pan at the Junior and the Senior Panorama on Carnival Saturday, August 10th, and Real Steel, August 17th. The March Gras crowns the Calypso Monarch on Carnival Sunday, August 11th. 2 days of frolicking in the Caribbean sun kicks off on Monday morning, August 12th, with the biggest juve in the world, followed by pageant and Monday night mass. The creativity and splendor of our mass parades on the road Carnival Tuesday, August 13th. Join us in the Jab Nation of Grenada, August 8th to 12th for Spice Mass 2019. Many events, one carnival.
Continuing the news, Grenada's Prime Minister, Dr. the Right Honorable Keith Mitchell, has described the late Dr. Winston Thomas as an example worthy of emulation. At the start of Tuesday's post-cabinet press briefing, the Prime Minister recognized Dr. Thomas for his 2 decades of service to the public health care system in Grenada. He said, and I quote, "Dr. Thomas has given selfless service in the healing and health of so many of our citizens throughout Grenada, unquote. Dr. Thomas was described by all who knew him as a selfless individual who dedicated many years of service to the people of Grenada through his medical practice. In reflecting on his contributions, Dr. Mitchell said many health practitioners return and open private practice, but that was not the case with Dr. Thomas.
Dr. Thomas was one of the unique ones who gave his entire service without a private practice to the service of providing health care for all the citizens of this country, without exception. It is well known that he had very strong political views, but not always consistent with mine. But one thing I can say about him, in the process of doing this, he never allowed his politics to interfere with his profession. And that is something, I think, a message, a legacy that I think he would have left, hopefully, with all of us.
Dr. Winston Thomas died in Cuba over the weekend, where he was receiving medical treatment. 997 vehicular accidents recorded by the Traffic Department of the Royal Grenada Police Force for the period January to May 2019, with 5 fatalities, 43 involving serious bodily harm to occupants, and 132 with minor injuries. During the government's weekly post-cabinet briefing on Tuesday, facilitated by Prime Minister Dr. Keith Mitchell, he expressed concern about the increased number of vehicular accidents on the nation's roads involving motorists from all strata of society.
Whether it's private vehicles, trucking activity, or bus-related activities, they all must be of serious concern, because you're talking about the safety of the drivers, the passengers, and the people of the country. So the police has been looking at all aspects. The traffic division has been upgraded in every aspect. They're being given tools, and of course, they're looking at implementing areas of technology that can, in fact, empower them to help us in dealing with this vexing problem.
Dr. Mitchell says the insurance companies are beginning to feel the effects of the increased number of vehicular accidents. The Traffic Department of the RGPF has already put systems in place to ensure increased patrols and road stops to help in the reduction of vehicular accidents. And that's the National Report. I'm Leslie Ann Johnson.
Only the few will see when you set the bar, but everyone will know when you've raised it.
Welcome to party. We are the greatest.
We have done it again in this, the era of greatness, with the biggest white.
We bring the most vibes.
Watch greatness unfold with Mr. Killer, Wasways, and Lava Man, and more of Grenada's best, featuring headliner Marshall Montano and the Monk Band.
We great, absolutely.
Be at the National Cricket Stadium on Saturday, August 10th. Get your tickets now from GoToFed.com and all Sunshine Promotions box offices. The biggest white. It's where greatness lives.
We are the greatest.
I really love it. 2018 was great. 2019, this will be epic. This is me, Scholar, 2018 Calypso Monarch of Grenada. And I'm inviting one and all to come down to Grenada for Spice Mass, the greatest, biggest festival in all of the world. I'm inviting you to the Mardi Gras, where I will be chasing after history. This year, the Mardi Gras, this will be the greatest Mardi Gras of all the Mardi Gras. All the bards will be coming.
I want to tell Mr. Killer, come over, the message to lava, come over.
Man, if you want to win the monarchy, to
head reduction surgery. The talk going around the tongue. Your head too big for the crown.
So listen to what I say. Forget about ECCJ.
So what are you waiting for? Just book your ticket and come down. Last carnival was real bacchanal, and this year going to be the mother of all. The boom boom going to ring, artists going to sing. Pam pam.
Big up for Simon for his contribution.
Stay up to date with all that's happening with the new national party, NNP. Send us a message via text or WhatsApp on 405-8683 with your name, email, and constituency. Stay in the know with NNP. Get updated.